All right, it's your boys DMac and Mike Sanford, Altitude After Dark. What's up, Coacher? Good to see you, brother. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing good. Just watching a little NFC East physical short week battle of injured quarterbacks and Jalen Hurts. I don't know what's going to happen. So, oh man, he looks like he's feeling week 11, week 12 or whatever it is of the season.
Yeah,
you can tell he's carrying some of the previous sores to his ball game tonight.
Well, they've had a bye week. So I mean, for them, whatever. It's 7-3 Commanders. And if you could tell me, like, you don't know how many games I've watched Jaden Daniels play football, because my son was at ASU when he was a freshman.
Right.
I've literally seen every single college and pro football game Jaden Daniels has played.
Damn.
And if you were to tell me years ago when I started watching him that he would be on this level, I'd tell you you're crazy.
He's so skinny at ASU, man. I mean, he's still skinny. He was a twig at ASU.
Dude, he is like Arnold Schwarzenegger now compared to the way he was at ASU when he was a freshman. To give you some perspective,
it was just like nuts. It was like
wait, hold on. It's a field goal. Let's see. Oh my God, he kicked it. How did he do that? How did he?
Philly?
And it was field side from the right. So I can't believe I just saw that happen. It was a field goal that went up in the air and through the now there's a penalty. But look at how they're overloaded on the field side things.
The left side.
Now this guy must have got his ass knocked. Oh, he didn't get knocked over. Oh, wow. He stayed up on his feet. He didn't get knocked on his ass. Well, let's watch it again, Coach, right now. It's happening right now. Let's watch it again and see what field side is the right side here. Now, certainly the wing T tight end is going to get knocked on his ass. Oh, wait, he didn't get knocked on his ass. Hold on a second, Coacher. How did that happen? He didn't get knocked on his ass. It is not the game winner.
Does it look like three dudes that were in the Ivan Drago laboratory from Russia are lined up over him? Because that's what happened with Alex Forsythe.
Can I kill you with a little truth? Can I kill you with a little truth right here?
If it's actual truth, I want real truth.
No, it's truth. Alex Forsythe isn't good enough to play that position. How's that for some truth? And I don't give a shit that the guy works hard and he's takes care of his grandma and he sells Girl Scout cookies or all these other things that I had to listen to over the past couple days. All this collective amount of BS that I had to listen to. The guy isn't good enough to be there. I don't blame him for trying, but I am convinced more than ever this guy shouldn't have been there, and it's a coaching error, period. The end. And I'm sure he's a great dude and all, but every player is going to say, I can do it or I'll try, but he shouldn't have been there, man. He should not have been there. And for some magical reason, nobody got knocked on their ass when we just watched 2 field goal attempts right there.
Did you see the Bill Belichick clip breaking it all down today?
I didn't. Talk to me about it. I'd be fascinated to hear what that's all about. You know what? Give that to me in a second. We're Altitude After Dark, brought to you by Don't let concerns about shifts in the market disrupt your long-term financial goals. Edward Jones financial advisor Beau Smith can help. He'll work with you on an investment strategy for long-term results. Edward Jones can give you the tools and knowledge for a steady approach to hitting your financial targets. So get started by giving Beau a call at 303-758-8500 or visit edwardjones.com/Beau-Smith. That's BEAU-Smith. Edward Jones, member SIPC. What did you see Belichick say?
Well, it was on one of the ESPN. It was Ryan Clark, Belichick, and one other guy. And Belichick, I mean, it was a total film session, a breakdown, and he had pulled clips of Alex Forsythe getting knocked over earlier in the season, that there was a symptom and that there was a problem, a clear problem. And he talked about, I don't think he was trying to throw shade at the decision maker, Sean Payton, but the biggest takeaway, which is something that I've started to feel as the weeks progressed, is if this was even kind of an issue,
right?
So you got to realize the kick trajectory, right? you can minimize or mitigate the possibilities of an edge rush getting to the block point. It's on a straight line. It's on a pendulum down, whatever angle you're kicking from, depending on the hash.
Mm-hmm.
He said, this is why I didn't give, Bill Belichick basically said, I didn't give my kicker the choice of hash. I wanted it dead smack in the middle because it took away the possibility of a block point on either edge.
Yeah, just make it, dummy. Just make it, you stupid kicker. It's an extra point. Make it.
Yes.
That's actually really interesting because Ben Kotwika did say today the decision to go the right hash was left up to Lutz, the kicker.
Did he actually? Did those words come out of his mouth? Because I think there was some. Yeah. I saw the clip that one of the muggles that was at practice today cited that, and it never said Will Lutz chose the right hash. Never.
I wish.
I am a real truth guy. I am you are a killing you with truth guy. Like I don't like to infer that it was implied, therefore he said it. So I'm guessing he said. I'm guessing Will Lutz wanted the right hash. I'm guessing that.
It's ticking me off right now because I got a bunch of clips, but I didn't get that one. But I know exactly what he said.
Kind of like us today with the 4-minute offense.
Oh, we can get to that. We can get to how wrong you are about that.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
You're we're getting into semantic shit, which drives me nuts.
Which is so fun. I love semantics.
Really? Oh, yeah. It's a blast for everybody.
It's the best.
What Kotwika said is that, this is kind of semantics too, it's up to the kicker where we go, and they ask the kicker where he would prefer to go. Did he say in that exact instance, put it on the right hash, please, 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 coach? No, he didn't say that, but he inferred that Lutz prefers the right hash and has made it clear that's where he wants to go.
Well, then if that's the case, then back to the coaching discussion. Make sure that you got your best dudes on the left side.
Oh, my God. I've been trying to say that. Oh, God. Why didn't I just say it just like that? I've been trying to make that argument for the past 2 days. And it's like, how do you not know that Forsythe clearly isn't that guy? Clearly isn't that guy. And the whole, you got to die slowly thing, that doesn't mean you got to get knocked on your ass every single time, does it?
Yeah, immediately. No, immediately. It is a very common part of the play.
I understand it may happen every now and then.
No, it happens. I bet it happens league wide. If you're playing in tightly contested ball games, blowouts, you can always tell that the field goal block unit is not going hard. It's a total, those are dump snaps. They're throwaway
snaps.
It's
7-3. Now it's 10-3. This isn't a tightly contested game in the second half.
No, it absolutely is.
Well, whoever the hell is blocking for them didn't get blown up on his ass.
Nor did what was the game winner? What was the game winner on Sunday? Yeah, it was Lions, right? Sunday Night Football, or was that Monday Night Football? It was Sunday Night Football when the Lions hit the game winner, and it was blocked to absolute perfection. It was also middle of the field. Did you see that?
Yeah. Oh, listen, bro. If you want to tell me just kick it in the middle of the field that gives you a better chance to win, do it.
Yeah.
Here's what blows me away. How many NFL coaches are there on a team? 15?
30.
30?
It was like 30.
Right?
I mean, there's so many dudes out there.
How many things do you have to look at? If you're one of the 5 special teams coaches, right? You're not looking at every kick with a fine-tooth comb. I mean, what else are you doing? Seriously, no joke. What else are you doing all game?
I found it interesting today that Ben Kotwika mentioned that Zach Strief is going to be another set of eyes. And I don't know how the NFL works because I haven't coached in that environment. My dad did, but it was so long ago. There were way fewer coaches back then. But I do know that every place that I've coached at where I was involved in the special teams. So when you're an offensive coordinator, you don't do anything with special teams. You're a quarterback coach. You coach the quarterbacks. You saw them during training camp doing their own thing. Davis Webb's over there. Lombardi's kind of lingering. Even Peyton. But when you're a head coach or you're a position coach on the offense side of the ball, like you have, certainly as a position coach, you have to make yourself valuable as a special teams coach. And one thing that I've always seen is that the O-line coach is the head coach of the field goal unit, the field goal protection unit, or is coaching a side or the other. And then maybe his assistant O-line coach is coaching the other side. So that's the move that is going to be made to get another set of eyes. And Kawika mentioned a really important, valid point, is that Zach Strief played those positions, the tight end and or tackle of the field goal protection unit, possibly the wing as well. I know so much has been made about Forsyth, and I know that the discussion's been all the different things. You guys talked about it today on the radio about everybody backing up, Forsyth, and they should. That's what teammates do. That's what locker rooms do. But to say like that he doesn't deserve, the animosity on the social media, you're in the National Football League. Like I was a head coach in college football. Right. I had people slide into my DMs that lost bets, I'm guessing, on money lines in the games that I was coaching that threatened to kill me and my family. So it's like, dude, it happens. It's normal. It's what you sign up for. It is what it is, man. People are drunk or they lost a bet, or they're members of media that are paid to scrutinize things that happen in a game. Guess what? It's going to happen.
Right. So, and by the way, when it comes to like Quinn Miners and even Garrett Bowles and these other guys, hey, bro, you're new here relatively, okay? Like you're talking to Broncos fans who have suffered through every loss since 2015 to the Chiefs on the road, man. I mean, you want to listen, but I like circle your wagons moments.
It's great.
And if the media can be the enemy, it's fine by me. Let's get to Kawika for today. So here's what he said happened.
Todd, what happened from your point of view, and things you're going to address?
Yeah, there's a handful of things there, Mike. We all work together on it. Give them credit. There was an area there on that left side. You're making corrections continuously in this league. It's very, very dynamic. We've done that. We've done that over the past couple days. Coach Strief has helped out. He's played on all those positions. So just getting another set of eyes on it. And so, we're all a part of it, and we've made those corrections, and really looking forward to watching that come to life this weekend against Atlanta.
We got another set of eyes on it, and we've made those corrections. Of course, if I was there, I would have simply said, what are those corrections? Nobody said that today. Kills me. Trust me. But what do you think?
That's what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear it so bad. I wanted to hear because my eyes told me it was a compounding of two errors. It was obviously Forsyth getting bulldozed immediately, but then the massive gap that was opened by Matthew Pert stepping out immediately, which I just have never seen that coached. I've never seen somebody step out to stop the edge rush because you open up so much space for the block point.
I just got to rewind the football game here because all right, here, this is very exciting. Here is a field goal attempt by the Eagles.
Ooh, another one.
And it looks like it's center and middle of the thing. I'm going to look to see who gets put on their ass here. Let's see here. I'm going to hit play. Oh, wow. Nobody got put on their ass. That is so crazy. Oh, no, it is right hash. It's right hash, left side, field side. So
the hot hash, man.
Oh, wow. Nobody got put on their ass.
Is that true? Is everybody upright? All 22 guys are standing up tall immediately after the snap.
Everybody was upright. I mean, one guy kind of dove. He missed it by a mile. Yeah, everybody's okay there. That's right off the edge.
Yep. The edge guy in the NFL, it's funny, the edge guys never get there in the NFL.
They never get there.
Yeah. It's always like a middle block, and typically now they protect the short snappers. So if you make any contact with a short snapper down the A gap on either side of the short snapper, you're going to get the penalty.
I do laugh that I'm not second guessing that Alex Forsyth is next to Mother Teresa in the Hall of Fame of good people. That's what we, were told. It's just, dude, he falls over. I mean, that's a problem. So here we go. What are you
look across the league and watching all these field goals? The majority of them are bigger men, right? We want to put our biggest guys in there to form this wall. So yeah, you could have that, but here's the thing on that, man. Like, the operations nowadays are very, very good. There used to be a day where that snapper was like a linebacker, and then the backup quarterback was, the holder. But now with the efficiencies, the timing of it is very, very efficient, and so we just want to put our best people forward, and that space.
Being that you're playing.
Okay. So we've
You
made
just got to fight your ass off for 1.2 to 1.28 seconds. That's it. That's the operation time from snap to kick. And if you're anything higher than 1.3, that's on the short snapper and the kicker and the holder potentially. But you got to fight your balls off for 1.2 to 1.28 seconds.
Is that what it looked like Forsyth was doing?
That is the responsibility of all, I guess it'd be all 8 protectors that aren't involved in the battery.
Yeah. Does that look like what Forsyth was doing? I'll say it again.
His technique looked bad. He had high pad level and he hung his inside step. And that's what Belichick said too. I don't know if you saw my, when you and I did the podcast on Sunday, it was fairly immediately after the game. I hadn't had a chance to, I had no so I did some stupid self-facing video because I guess you're supposed to do those things if you want to make it in media, apparently. So I did one and I broke down what I saw, immediate feedback. And mine was pad level was high and hung his inside step, was caught with his cleats off the ground, immediately topples back over, pert, way too wide on his set, block kick. You don't beat the Chiefs.
How incredible is that, a mistake like that, when you spend so much attention to detail? And by the way, I do understand, and I'm sure if I went over the comments, people are telling to shut the fuck up about this. I get it. But if we don't understand why this moment happened, it can't, I mean, it literally, I can't even believe it happened. You could count on one hand the amount of walk-off, blocked field goals in the history of the NFL. Walk-offs. The game is over. Like, you block, and especially inside.
Were you able to pull that in the last, say, 10 years? Or
I was, and I'd love to.
I would love to hear that too, especially if you go back to the 70s, 80s, 90s. I'm sure it was just such a different league. There was such less specialization, even to the point that Kotwika made. These operation times are so damn good, and the place kicker and the holder, who's always the punter, they work together the entire practice on their operation. That's all they do. I mean, that's all they do. It's literally all they do.
It's a joke. I don't even know why they're at regular practice, frankly, but they sort of walk around and they practice their shit a lot. Yeah. A lot would be 20 minutes. Like, how many snaps?
No, you can't do much more than that for the leg.
What else are you going to do? You could do it 50 times in 20 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, and they were great. The snap hold kick was great.
It was great. We did it 50 times in a row. It was great.
Even in the game, it was great. It wasn't the operation. The snap hold kick was elite.
That is elite. Yes, it was elite. It was elite. It looked like every single other operation in the NFL. It was incredibly elite. It was amazing. I said this before. I understand football, coach, is a complicated sport, right?
Yep.
You got me, okay? Of all the complicated things going on, that one ain't that complicated compared to all the other complicated things that are happening. So
you're 100% right.
So whatever.
DMac, one of the things that I think I've come to know, and certainly at high levels of college football, and then especially in the National Football League, when you lose a critically important game because of one unit's error, it is very common that the next day you walk in as a coach and the person responsible for that unit, they've cleaned out their office because they were fired.
Wow.
Very normal.
Well,
it's not happened to me. Like, I was never the recipient. I've been on a staff. It was against an service academy, and the defense coordinator. I walked into the office and his nameplate had been removed. It was 7 a.m. I'm like, holy cow! The next day.
Wow. Well, that's life in the fast lane. And Mike Westhoff, who had health issue, probably didn't help that so much stress was going on for a 77-year-old guy. I have no doubts that he has some sort of health issue.
Yeah, of course.
I also have no doubts that stress increases your health issues. So
I also have no doubt that having one voice as a coordinator is better than having any more than one voice as a coordinator.
Totally agree. You weren't here at the time, but there was a time that the Broncos, you're going to love this, had 2 offensive line coaches, one for the inside and one for the outside.
No bueno.
No bueno. And that year they had Alex Gibbs as a consultant.
There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, brother.
Dude, it was ridiculous.
A lot
so
of cooks.
Gibbs would just, and I don't know if you know, and Alex Gibbs has passed away, so that's sad. But I don't know.
I know Alex by very many people very close to me worked with Alex Gibbs. So I know a lot about Alex Gibbs.
Everybody who knew Alex Gibbs called him the worst person in the world, and I love him to death.
Yep, that's what I've heard.
Right.
That is what I've heard.
I hated him, but he was the greatest guy ever for me, blah, 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 blah.
Correct.
Well, he was coaching. This is so weird. There's an inside offensive line coach, an outside offensive line coach, who are both the offensive line coach.
Those centers and guards, tackles, tight ends, maybe, or something
exactly.
like that. Yeah.
Something like that. But then there was also Alex Gibbs, who was like coaching the practice squad offensive lineman. It was Mike. It was lunacy. And yeah, the Broncos have gone through their forms of dysfunction, and it's been confusing with Westhoff and Kotwica there, frankly, both of them. Okay, so
we don't know the inner workings, but we were at practice and we saw that at times I don't want to go out and say there were conflicting voices, but there were two voices.
Yeah,
even during drills or installation of a situation, and that, I mean, that's common in the National Football League. It's common in college. But I always think that one voice is better. And it just dawned on me just now watching Ben Kotwica. This was Veterans Day weekend, this past weekend, was it not?
It was.
And he is a true American hero, a graduate of a helicopter pilot, fought in the Iraqi War. And I have personally, for me, and what I know about Ben Kotwica, because I also have a mutual friend that worked with him at the New York Jets, I have the utmost respect for his ability, and I think this will never happen again.
I agree. And it's as stable as special teams has been with the Broncos coach in years. This has been like Dwayne Stukes, out of control. Dwayne Stukes. No idea what he was doing. Jody Camillus, nice guy. Took a parallel job with Jacksonville because he had to get the fuck out of here, even though he's from Colorado. We had the one dude who said, if we had 22 Janos, it would be okay. That guy, Brock, what's his face? If we had 22 Janos, we would lose by 70 points in every single game. You know, he's just talking about try-hard guys. We had Tom McMahon, who's been a special teams guy forever, and I believe is with the Raiders right now. But he's also the guy that designed that special teams move with the Colts way back in the day where, you know, remember the dude who lined up under center and that was it and everybody was spread out?
Oh, yeah. Man, that was an ugly fake. That was that was arguably one of the worst plays in the history of football.
It was designed by Tom McMahon, who also was with the Broncos. I'm just telling you, the stability of special teams has actually been very good for the past couple of years. Yeah. And so for this to pop up and then for us to take a big look at it, and I'm sorry we're droning on about this, driving everybody nuts. And I promise this is the last that we have to talk about it because hopefully it'll never happen again. But I will be surprised if Alex Forsythe is in that same position on Sunday. I think he'll be moved. You?
Is Alex Palczewski back?
He was back last week too. Yes.
He was. I don't know if he was playing over on the right side or not.
Well, he was actually. He was on the right side.
He was the right tight end.
I'll tell you who was.
You know what should happen is Matthew Pert should be playing that left tight end spot, and Lucas Kroll should be playing the wing. Just like was
fine.
That's the answer.
That
Lucas
Kroll
if you're giving me
Lucas
the final,
Kroll is like 6'6.5", like 260, 270,
and a natural bender. Right?
You know what? I'm sure he'll be fine. In fact, you could take somebody probably like, I don't know, John Franklin Myers or Zach Allen.
We've used defensive linemen in different points of my career at that position.
I talked to Chad Brown. Chad Brown, who's a linebacker, has played that position in the past because you know he's hits people like you're ready to hit people. A center really doesn't hit people. Not really. He makes contact with people, but it's what the fuck ever. Just get him out of there.
Yeah.
And let's never have this problem ever again.
Well, I tell you what, man, DMac, when we're up in that press box on Sunday and that first field goal or PAT comes out,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, especially if it's on that damn right hash, our eyes are going to be fixated 3 human beings over from the short snapper to the left. I promise you that.
All right. And one of the muggles could have simply said, will Forsyth be out there on Sunday in that same position?
Would you have done it?
Nobody had the cojones to do it.
Would you have done it?
Of course I would have done it. Of course and I would have been the first goddamn question. Listen, a lot of times in these pressers, I lay back, whatever. But when I want to ask a question, I don't wait for some idiot to spoil my question, especially if it's not a pass the mic around. I guarantee you I would have been the first question today. And I would have used Forsyth by name and asked directly if he would be in that same position. Why or why not?
Would any of the beat writers have given you kind of the radio guy kind of roll of the eyes if you jumped the gun and answer the first question?
After 16 years of doing that shit, they know what's good for them. They know what's up on that one. No, trust me, and I don't give a shit either.
Yeah, I know
that's part of my charm.
I respect.
Right. All right, let's get on to some other shit. Joe Lombardi. On the last drive, and I want to get to the whole 4-minute offense thing, but here was Lombardi talking about the.
We're hoping, obviously you can't really engineer that. I've been part of drives where the coach hey, we got to score with no time left on the clock because you don't want to give Mahomes the ball back, but that's easier said than done. So it was gratifying to be able to do that. Unfortunately, we didn't finish it out, but. Yeah, that would have been key.
All right.
That's the sentiment I was talking about a little bit with describing this scenario, is that there's a bit of luck involved and I've called offensive plays just for how the different scenarios play out. Because you got to remember that you don't call a pass play for Bo Nix unless you call a screen. You don't call a pass play for Bo Nix to throw it definitely to that guy. You're calling a pass play for Bo Nix to read the progression and then maybe in the situation use his thought process to keep the clock running if he can. But there is a bit of luck involved. And once you get closer to that 50-second window and you got some timeouts, you might have a couple downs to kind of mess with it and massage the time as much as you can. Then it becomes oh yeah, we're using it the entirety of this clock. So
I thought it was brilliant how they used it, because I recognized instantly they did not want to score a touchdown for the right reasons. Listen, man, if this is against Kirk Cousins or whoever,
Kirk's had a nice 2-minute drive to win a game this year.
He has, but he's not Patrick Mahomes, man.
No, 100%.
You're right about. But has he had 30-second drives? You know what I'm saying?
Nobody on planet Earth like Patrick Mahomes. The only guy might be Shedeur Sanders.
Right. Well,
no, I'm dead ass serious. End of game scenario. Those two guys are 2 of 2.
Right. So the concept, and Sean Payton laid it out early in the week, it was perfect what they did. It was exactly what they wanted to do. So to me, that is a 4-minute offense. We got in this back and forth about the 4-minute offense. One way or the other, in my opinion, on a 4-minute offense, and if it's semantics, fine. But in my opinion, on a 4-minute offense, it's complicated. I think 4-minute offenses are really hard to pull it off because you need multiple.
The real 4-minute offense that I was talking about can be really hard.
I agree with you because I know what you're talking about. But you have the most. Okay. All right. You got a lead. Or the last play will give you the lead. I would try to make that little caveat in there.
Different scenario. You want to know why it's a different scenario, DMac? Is that a defense in a real 4-minute scenario, 4-minute offense, a defense does not have to worry about a bomb over their heads to lose the football game. So you get heavily loaded boxes, like the type of boxes that the running back at Boise State is seeing every single week now, where it's just we're going to stop the run and we're going to keep the ball in front of us, but we cannot let anything get over the top and lose the game via a dumbass bomb because of a busted coverage or somebody slips and falls.
Well, I'll make the argument in a 4-minute offense, you've got to keep things kind of open though, because you need multiple first downs.
Yes.
Multiple first downs. And you have 4 timeouts to deal with usually.
Yeah, that's new in the college game this year.
It is because they do the 2-minute
for the first time, right?
Yeah, they don't call it a 2-minute warning. The 2-minute
timeout, I think, or is it? What is it? I think it's a 2-minute timeout. Isn't it?
I don't know why they just don't use warning, but they
Like
don't.
Warning's a little too like it could induce anxiety for somebody.
Too triggering. Warning. We're not doing a warning.
I
Might have a college
It's a warning. I don't want a warning. Don't warn me.
Might have a college protest with a girl with glasses and blue hair, and we just can't have that. We're not going to have that. So we have whatever the fuck they call it, and so that is really, really tricky. Actually, I'll ask you as a coach, how many first downs do you think you typically need at the end of a game to burn off 4 minutes with the team having 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning?
So we have a chart and it's all timed out. It accounts for 3.5 seconds per play that you're able to run. And the chart tells you how much time you can exhaust based off of the timeouts that the other team has. Now that chart is different in college when I was coaching than it is now or in the National Football League, because you do have to take into account the 2-minute timeout warning on both ends. And so typically, like what you have that chart, and then you frankly multiply it by 2 insofar as that you get to third down and convert on third down.
Right.
And then you're able to start that chart again. So like I told you on the radio today, when I was coaching in Minnesota, we were obsessed with situational football. We ran with a lead at Nebraska, a 4-minute offense, and exhausted 8 minutes and 38 seconds of clock. Awesome. And the best part about it is our running back at the time, Mohamed Ibrahim, he actually busted a run. They were trying to tackle him. He busted a run, and everybody on the sidelines banging the ground before the snap.
Go down.
We called it downtime. Well, if it's downtime, you break, you get the first down clearly, and then you get your ass down. He did it on like the 2-yard line, and it was beautiful. It was
awesome.
8 minutes and 38 seconds exhausted off the clock. It was one of the most enjoyable things I've ever been a part of as a play caller.
And clearly the Broncos did not want to give Mahomes any time. So whatever you want to call it, they did execute.
There is similarity. There's definite similarities.
And they execute it brilliantly. And so, again, this is where you kind of lose your mess as a coach. You really did coach a perfect game against a tough opponent on the road. That was keyed by the offensive rookie of the week, Bo Nix, doing things beautifully and getting high praise from everybody. It is funny here. What I'm finding in Denver is if you didn't want to draft Bo Nix in the first place, you really wanted Brock Bowers. How's that working out for the Raiders, by the way? Guys having a freaking Pro Bowl year, all pro year maybe, and they suck. And that's what you get when your tight end is the best player on your team.
And Shedeur Sanders throwing him to him next year.
Well, we can get to that in a second. We can definitely get to that. Hold that thought. And we'll get to the wacky Mike Tyson video too. But the fact is, Bo Nix, to me, coach, has done everything I need to see. And he had me at, hello. But that being said, if you needed a little proof, I don't know. And I get it. They didn't win the game. But he literally did everything they wanted him to do in the most high pressure of situations. I don't know what else anybody needs to think that Bo Nix is the guy. In fact, I would challenge you, if we were redrafting this year's draft, where would Bo Nix go in terms of quarterbacks?
Well, I know you're backing me into a corner because you even started the argument by talking about the people that didn't want to draft Bo Nix, and you said where they're at currently, but you didn't talk about the people that did want to draft Bo Nix and where they're at currently. So you omitted one half of I saw what you did there. And second of all, Jaden Daniels is number 1. All right. You have 2 incomplete grades because of JJ McCarthy, who I still can't unsee what I saw at the combine, which was
fine.
Not fine. It was the stupid thing that you talk about all the time, the laser show. The dude he has got a unbelievable piss missile attached to his right shoulder. I'm
saying fine. If you want to just take that in consideration with this evaluation, I'm saying
I'm
fine.
going to give it to you straight up right now. And I'm going to talk to you about like draft grades, and let's revisit this damn conversation in 3 years, because right now is not the time to do it. Michael Penix isn't starting because they've spent a gazillion dollars on Kirk Cousins.
You'll see him on the sideline on Sunday you'll see him on the sideline doing nothing on Sunday.
Yeah, and watch him warm up if you want to get a real Beau action.
Watch him warm up. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, you can watch that. You can watch that. That's beyond a laser show.
Okay. I'll bring the tissues for you to watch him warm up.
I coached against both of them, and one of them scared the living shit out of me every single time he dropped back to pass, and that was number 9 that was a lefty.
Fair enough.
But so number 1 is Jaden Daniels. 2, going through all of it. 2 for me right now is this is the apple of my eye. It's Michael Penix Jr.
All right.
3 is JJ McCarthy. 4 is Bo Nix. 5 is Caleb Williams. 5 is Drake May. 6 is Caleb Williams.
Okay. I was going to say.
I actually like what Drake May's doing.
I've heard people say that. It's just he's on a bad team, so we're probably not getting a fair assessment.
You just beat Caleb Williams?
Yeah. Well, listen, let me tell you this. Whatever you need, that's it. Caleb Williams doesn't have. And you know what? There were red flags about that his last year at USC.
You're exactly right. And that was my problem.
Yeah.
There's a different level of playing with your food that Caleb Williams at times exhibited in both years at USC as a starting quarterback. Yeah. That second year, you saw a little bit of quit gene. Yeah. There was a little bit of that gene of like,
little bit.
Is that guy really a dog? Is that guy really built for adversity? Yeah. That question, in terms of quarterbacks that are built for adversity, 1A in the draft class is Bo Nix. He's built for adversity. He's built to respond. And everything that I've seen, both in his career at Oregon, overcoming everything that went south, literally in the Southeast Conference at Auburn, the guy is special between the years. Yeah. Special. And he's sturdily built. And I think he's a really good athlete. I don't think he's an elite athlete at the position. He's a really good athlete. And to me, the remaining question marks, I'm not talking about if he's the starter for the Denver Broncos, DMac. That's not my standard. This is the town of John Elway. This is the town of Peyton Manning. If that's are you convinced he is that? You'd be an absolute idiot to say that you have all that information today. And if you say that, then you don't know ball. You do not know football because you don't have that information right now yet.
I'm not putting him up there with Elway and Manning, but I'll tell you this.
Wouldn't you say that's a standard? In this town? In this town.
Don't forget in this town. Hey, bro, Jake Plummer got us to the AFC Championship game, man. Gus Farrat had huge games for the Denver Broncos and was in the playoffs with the Broncos. Gus Farrat was a starting quarterback for the Broncos.
So would you be okay if Bo Nix is Jake Plummer level of quarterback play for the Denver Broncos?
Jake Plummer was damn good, bro.
No, he was. I love Jake Plummer.
Everybody loved him. Great dude. Was one of the guys, and they got to the AFC Championship game where they lost to a team of destiny. Jerome Bettis, who was from Detroit.
He's clearly number 3 in the hierarchy of historical Broncos quarterbacks, at least in the modern era. Would you say?
That's a good one. Probably. And yeah, I mean, probably. Like Greasy, I feel got kind of a bit of a raw deal and wasn't quite mature enough. But I think if Greasy came here at a better time, Tommy Maddox was a guy too who was just drafted so young, who actually had a pretty good career once he got to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So there's been some other kind of, different outliers there over time.
Really, though, if you look at it, like at this franchise, and I don't know much about the Orange Crush era. I'm just kidding.
Oh, well, that's Craig Morton. Well, don't forget, Craig Morton, who was a star with the Cowboys, got the Broncos to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So you can't discount Craig Morton either. Yeah. He was a really, really good quarterback.
But in terms of like there really have only been 3 quarterbacks in the history of the Denver Broncos modern era since I've been alive in 1982 that you could say the entire town's like, that's my quarterback. That's it.
You're right, but it was special back in 78. And boy, not to date myself, but I was in 3rd grade in Steamboat Springs in Mrs. Stanko's class. And all I wanted for Christmas, bro, from Santa was an Orange Crush t-shirt. Boy, was I easy to play. Of course I got it. Are you kidding me? They just went down to the
Was it orange or white?
It's a little shitty orange shirt. It's an orange. So it's like this probably costs like $1.50 or something. You know what I mean? It's like, I didn't know. It was a big deal to me. But, I spent all my days and weekends. I was a real jerk as a little kid because we lived on the mountain. We lived on Mount Werner in the Riverside Apartments. And like all I wanted to do on Sundays was come home early from skiing to go watch the Broncos. I mean, it was like my parents were looking at me like, hey, you don't quite understand what we did here, son. But I didn't care. And so there was that time. And that time is only, if we're really talking a little Broncos history, you got to understand, Mike, how bad the Broncos were in the 60s. I mean, it was, dude, it was Floyd Little, and that was like it. So for
Carolina Panthers-esque. Like
it was worse, man. Look at the win-loss record.
At least the Panthers have a Super Bowl in their back.
No doubt about it.
Multiple Super Bowls they've been in.
Anyways, it's a long, rich history with the Broncos. It goes, so long back to like 1960 and all that. So, but in general, I know what you're saying. Is Bo Nix one of those guys, the upper pantheon guys? I think he has a chance to.
I do too.
I think he has a chance to.
I do too. And I'm not. And I think sometimes I come across as being I'm like almost like fighting a fight that at least half of the listeners or viewers are like, this guy's an absolute idiot. He's a hater. I mean, I study this. I study the games. I still think that his best game as a quarterback for the Denver Broncos still was the Tampa Bay Bucks game. And then I think the second best game was the Carolina game. And just in terms of degree of difficulty of throws, showing the different variety. I thought he managed the Chiefs game incredibly well. I thought he managed the situational football really well. And I think he went into a hostile environment and did the most important thing when you have a defense that's playing lights out, and that's take care of the football against the team that's tough to take care of the football against, especially on the road. And so the guy's makeup is fantastic. Like there's no doubting that, man. He's got real serious makeup, and the combination of him and Sean Payton and what Sean Payton ultimately wanted, it's working. Like you're in the position to play for the playoffs. Now that brings up the next point, which is I think this team, if you have a top 3, top 4 defense in the National Football League, it's a failure not to make the playoffs, period.
Good question.
It's a failure. It's not just are they going to make the playoffs? Oh man, we were picked to go win 5.5 games. That's before you knew how damn good this defense was, DMac. Nobody thought this defense was going to be in the top 3, top 4 in damn near all statistical categories after a 41-point drubbing against the 41 points given up against the Ravens. You're still number 4 in points allowed. You can't waste that. And that's why I think this game against the Falcons is so freaking important.
We'll get to our prediction of that game in just a second as we get close to the end here. Plus, I have 2 goofy videos to show you. You're going to want to stick around for that. In times of financial uncertainty, how can you stay on track? Call someone who's invested in your success. Beau Smith, your Colorado Edward Jones financial advisor, can help you. He'll work to build a complete picture of your financial life, including your unique goals and passions, so he can help you achieve what's most important to you. Call Beau at 303-758-8500 to schedule an appointment today, or visit edwardjones.com/Beau-Smith. That's BEAU-Smith. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Give me your Falcons Broncos prediction.
Oh man, I'm having a hard time with this one. I think the Broncos are going to do what they did against Kansas City. And they're going to on defense. They're going to get back to their pressuring ways. The idea is to hit Kirk Cousins as many times as humanly possible because he is immobile. He is at least beat up a little bit, right? He's got a wrist and an elbow and a shoulder contusion.
He does full participation.
But he hasn't been on the injury report until this week, and he was a limited participant on Wednesday and full today.
Yep.
They're gonna blitz him, and they're gonna play a ton of man coverage. You got to win your one-on-one battles on the perimeter. Okay. And I love Riley Moss. I love PS2. But I don't know if the Broncos have seen a better slew of weapons on the perimeter at the tight end position, at the running back position than what the Falcons do have. So if they score 28, I'm worried.
Okay.
If the Broncos do what I think they're going to do defensively, and this is going to be my prediction, the Broncos are going to win 24-17.
Wow. I got it Broncos 24, Falcons 20. And so we have a similar sort of out. The problem that the Falcons have, they've got no pass rush for whatever reason. And I mean, it's weird to be that bad at it. And so because of that, they give up stuff all over the place because their pass rush is inadequate. So you may have a bit of a laser show going. You may be able to run the ball. And if you can run the ball, it's a no-brainer. Play action will work. Play action works, and you can have a little touch on the ball. You can beat them deep. You can do all sorts of things that play action works, right? And likely the Broncos will lead with Audric Estime. I think Javonte Williams is toast. I think he'll be in there to block. I think Javonte Williams is willing. Back. Yeah, I think that's who he is. But I think they're going to lean on Estime. They're going to set up play action and just kind of take it from there. And unless the Broncos turn the ball over, which is weird because they really don't do that.
Yeah, not much.
I think they're going to eventually win this game, but I don't think it's any kind of blowout. I'm nervous about it too. I think the Falcons are a pretty bipolar team. You just really don't know what you're going to get, but they are 6-4.
And they have the ability to score 35, 38 in certain games.
They do. And that's why I'm giving them 20 points because you're not out of the woods here and it can come quickly at you. And likely it will at certain points. But I do think the Broncos win this. You and I are actually very kind of boring here because we both had them beating the Chiefs and we both have them winning the next 4 games. We both have them that. And I like to think you and I were right about beating the Chiefs aside from the final score.
When's the Chargers game?
It's the third to last game of the year.
Okay.
It goes Falcons, Raiders on the road right after Thanksgiving, Browns, bye week, Colts at the Chargers, at the Bengals, and then home against the Chiefs. Look at that. Just like that. Knew that.
Pretty good.
Just like that. All right, you ready for some goofy stuff as we wrap things up here?
I could have pulled out my Broncos game day poster here.
Which one? I got them all hanging up in my
They're great, man. I love these things.
They are great.
Yeah, I think they
I really do have them hanging up here. Yeah, hold on.
That was a fun day right there.
Let me show you that. See? I got them right there.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, and I got that one there.
That's a good one.
I got them over there. I hung them all up. Now I'm moving my.
So DMac, did I miss one game? It was the Panthers game.
Yes, you did. Do you know why you missed it?
I forgot.
Really?
Oh no, I do remember. It was Championship Sunday for my boys' football team.
With some crap. No. Oh yeah. You missed one for that. Then you left one early to pick up your daughter
from
your wife was in Africa.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is probably another story for another day. All right, let's get to some goofy stuff here. The lovely Anne-Marie. Respect for Riley Moss from the Kelsey brothers.
Would have thought one of the best defenses in the league got a white corner.
There's an outside corner?
Yeah. 21. Starter. Man. He hides it, though. He wears long sleeves. He hides it. Andy, I think he wears like the turtleneck, too.
It's smart.
He hides it, yeah.
Don't let
him see the skin.
He hides it.
Don't let him see the skin.
Which one's the white guy again? I can't tell.
It's like camouflage.
That's funny. Oh, man.
No, man. Seriously. And honestly, that kid, he can play.
Those guys are fun, man. You can hate Travis Kelce all you want. You can get pissed off about Taylor Swift and, the bandwagon of the Kansas City Chiefs, but those guys on their podcast are really good together. They just are.
I love the fact that Kelce didn't even know his name, though. It's just the white cornerback. But I do think Riley Moss is here to stay. I do. I don't know how you feel about it, but I think he's here to stay.
Well, I've been singing his praises since last year when I first started this journye because I had coached against him when he was at Iowa. And
was he special? Was he special at Iowa?
To be 100% candid, I learned a long time ago. If you're facing, and this is a quote from somebody else, not me, but I am going to regurgitate it. If you're looking out there and you see a Republican cornerback, you target that Republican. That is a direct quote in a film session, and so I've used it. I used it in smaller, kind of circles. And so we went after Riley Moss twice when I was at Minnesota.
How'd it go?
He intercepted 2 passes.
Despite the MAGA hat, he had a lockdown.
He threw it off real quick, blocked the football.
Okay. All right. And last piece here. And I got to give Nate and Andy. I really, the one thing about that show, they find stuff that is bizarre more often than any show on the radio station. So props to them because I love it. And I wish we had this during our show, and we'll definitely use it tomorrow, as you may as well. But this is Mike Tyson, who's getting ready for tomorrow night's big fight against Jake Paul.
Netflix.
Are you watching it?
Yes, I'm a sucker. Yeah,
I will
absolutely
I
be
will
watching
be.
it.
Well, tomorrow night's an interesting ass game with Val Nichushkin come back.
It's also an interesting border war for Mountain West supremacy
right.
for CSU.
Well, it's really not that interesting. If you can't beat Wyoming in Fort Collins, you got some problems. They made
DMac. They made a change at quarterback and scored 45 points last week. So I don't know. It's going to be a little bit more interesting than some think.
Who did they score 45 against?
I forgot. Somebody not very good. Like
because they beat up
State.
San Diego State, and they beat Air Force as well, who's not much this year. Anyways, fun night tomorrow night, top to bottom. This one will live in infamy. Mike Tyson being interviewed by 12, 11, maybe 13-year-old girl. This moment of zen to wrap up Altitude After
My
Dark.
age to see the legend Mike Tyson in the ring for the first time. So after such a successful career, what type of legacy would you like to leave behind when it's all said and done?
Well, I don't know. I don't believe in the word legacy. I just think that's another word for ego. Legacy doesn't mean nothing. That's just some word everybody grabbed onto. Someone said that word and everyone grabbed on the word, so now it's used every 5 seconds. It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm just passing through. I'm going to die, and it's going to be over. Who cares about legacy after that? What a big ego. So I'm going to die. I want people to think that I'm this, I'm great. No, we're nothing. We're just dead. We're dust. We're absolutely nothing. Our legacy is nothing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That is something that I have not heard before, someone say that as an answer.
Can you really imagine somebody say, I want my legacy to be this way when you're dead? Why do you want somebody? You think somebody really wants to think about you? What's the audacity? I think, I want people to think about me when I'm gone. Who the fuck cares about me when I'm gone? Well, my kids, maybe, or grandkids.
True.
That young lady will end up being the greatest journalist in the history of journalism because she was a part of one of the most significant viral moments. Absolute brilliance.
And on that note, Coach, have a great night.
Like a candle in the wind.
We're dead. If you're dead, you're dead. We're dust.
You're just dust.
We're nothing. It's 12. I didn't know we were going all zen there, Mike. We're just talking to a 12-year-old about legacy. How about I'd like to go down as one of the greatest boxers of all time?
Nope, think you care less.
Nah.
Nope, doesn't care.
We're dead.
DMac, how old are you?
I'm 55.
Okay, so Mike Tyson's 3 years older than you.
Yes.
After that glorious interview, maybe it was the next day, but it happened in the last couple hours.
Yeah.
At 58 years old, 3 years older than you.
Yeah.
He's doing the standoff at the presser or the weigh-in.
Yeah.
Slapped the shit out of another man. 58 years old.
Oh my God, brother.
So 3 years from now, DMac, that's gonna be you, man.
Oh yeah. I'll slap the
Something
shit
to
out
look forward
of
to when you grow up.
You see what I do when I get in a fight. You think this black guy came cheap? I showed that cement on my bike.
Yeah, that cement's turned into a national monument. It's got your glasses etched into it. It is a national monument.
You should see the cement. It's fine. All right, Coacher. We'll see you tomorrow morning for the morning spread with Good Raj, and I'm on with Tyler and Scott Hastings, and we go from there. And Sunday, both of us will be out at the Broncos, and we'll be back with Altitude After Dark Sunday night at 8 o'clock. Coach, we'll see you tomorrow.
Cheers.
When you're dead, you're dead.